Hello everyone, you're here with me, Jen the Taxidermy Witch, and this is part 2 of the Patreon only videos, excuse me, where we are making the lovely, one and only, very unique Woormwood crown for like spiritual duality and moonlight work and things like this, psychic awareness, really uplifting. And I've drawn out a picture, and I'm going to show it to you, and I'm not the best artiste, so please bear with me. But I've also added something to it, because that's totally how I work my workings. I'm always adding things to my workings, and for those of you who have ordered with me on Etsy, you know that. You'll order a 2-piece working and come with 4 parts. But that's just how I work. So here's what I've drawn up. I've drawn a picture. I tried really hard to draw a picture myself. It was difficult. I had so much trouble on the nose, so it's just barely there. So I'm wearing a necklace with a chicken's foot and that stone from Kayla because I couldn't find a way to work those into the crown, and I really wanted to have them be a part of the working. And then up top here, I've got just a drawing of how the crown might sit on my head. It will be a bit bigger, of course, but here's a picture of the crown. I've used some colored pencils to draw it in. This is kind of like a top view. So we've got the mugwort here, the dandelion buds, the dandelion seeds, wormwood, and it's just a crown of wormwood. There'll be much more wormwood, but this is just my drawing. And then these are the mink skull and mink ribs that will kind of dangle down, hopefully. And that's what I'm trying to get. And then this is a close-up on the chicken foot necklace. I'm also going to put a piece of a milk thistle flower on that as well, and that's the stone from Kyla. So I'm really excited about this, you guys. This is what we're hoping to get out of the working. But you know what, it's funny because it always changes, because we'll run into things where it's like, that's not working. So I've never done this on a YouTube video. I've never shown like these many details about how I work, but I've really set up my workspace of how I actually work. Behind me I have my typewriter where I've already written 2 lines. I started by just naming it, 3 lines, naming it the Woormwood King Crown for Duality, July 28th, 2019. It would be a good time to, you have the date on there, so technically you could look up the moon phase, but if you look up the moon phase, that will be really helpful too. Right now we're waning. We're waning down into the new moon. We had a full moon, so we're waning. So it would be a nice note up there to put also that it was a waning moon. Okay. I think the best time really to do this working would be on the full moon, but that's just past for me. So I'm doing it when I feel like I want to do it, yeah? And you can do that too. Like, you can do spells when it says, you know, do with the waxing moon. Well, okay, but if you need it right now and you can't wait 3 weeks, 2 weeks, or a month, you absolutely can do it now, but you might just want to add more to it. So one thing, and then the next 2 lines say that I've used my astral oil that I made to anoint my third eye and my wrists. And then I rub the rest of it kind of on my chest so that I can breathe it. Start to inhale this. This has clary sage oil, this has cinnamon, yarrow, wormwood, which I thought was mugwort when I grew it the first 2 years, obviously. Oyster shells from my family that they ate it together on the beach in the 70s before I was born. An eyebright. Powdered eyebright. So that is what is in this oil. I had a video on this oil, but I had to take it down because that's back in the day when I was playing music on records in the background and showing you what record I was playing. Yeah, copyrights. So obviously we can't do that, but I get this going because that clary sage, that eyebright, that wormwood that's been soaking in here for 2 years, you know, this oil, I have vitamin E in, and I just remade a new one about, I say about 6 months ago, but generally these last me about 2 years, a bottle this size. I'll hold it up next to my arm so you can see the size of the bottle. Not terribly big, but not small at all. Okay, so that's lovely, and I just keep this special little rock that I found on the top. The cork's going to absorb a lot of that oil, and the rock actually absorbs the oil too. It's really cool how that works. So I have that here. I've anointed myself with it for now, and I'm probably not going to use it again until later with the crown to anoint the lava beads. So first thing we're going to do is the next line on the typewriter, which says, take a yellow taper candle. I'm writing this spell as I go, because I really don't use other people's workings. I take ideas from them, get inspiration from myself, do the research on the herbs, and then just kind of go into it, and I type as I go, because I build the working as like how I'm feeling it. So you'll see me over here doing this, back at the typewriter, making, back at the typewriter. So that's just kind of how I work. All right, let's tip you down to where we have this yellow taper candle. Now, a regular circle plate, this is like a platter. A regular circle plate probably would, like, the candle would hang off, but we're going to be rolling this in the psychic oil, the psychic awareness oil that I make, and I do have a video for that on my channel. Psychic awareness oil has blood orange, mandrake root all throughout, a magic mushroom, psilocybin mushroom, it's there, you can barely see it, that we grew ourselves, a bee, for the flying, the astral, and a big white peacock feather. And you can see all of those things in there if you're at the right angle. The feather's hanging out way back here. Yeah. So that's a white peacock feather, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and shake up this oil, holding the cap on. Wax, a little wax kind of always flies off when you shake it. But just kind of muddle all those things up with your, kind of putting your intention into it for the moment. We need this astral oil to awaken our psychic senses, heighten our clairvoyance, our clairaudience, our clairsentience. Our claircognizance. And also, to top it off, it's in a big tequila bottle, which would obviously alter someone's perception. So we're just going to pour a bit of this oil on here. Now it's got mandrake root in it, and wormwood, and magic mushroom, and a feather. So you can't anoint your body with this, because it's got the feather, which is not... I wouldn't want to anoint my feather. I wouldn't want to anoint my feather. No, I certainly would not. I wouldn't want to anoint my third eye or my body with this oil, just because it's one that I made knowing, okay, this one's for anointing candles and such, not anointing my body. And I was able to put things like bees in it and magic mushrooms and whatnot. That magic mushroom being in there, I tell you what, it really does lift the working. So get this back in here by dripping a little wax in there since I ripped it out. Oh, right. We're also gonna anoint this in a little wormwood. So we're gonna take that wormwood that we grow, and I didn't attach. Oh, I will. The Etsy shop. My Etsy shop will be down below, where you can purchase wormwood that's fresh from my garden this year, and we just sprinkle that on top and around. Try and get it as small as possible, just with your fingers, and let it stick to the oil of the candle, and adding your intention. Wormwood, we need you to burn on this candle to help assist this working. I'm getting tingles all throughout my arm. Can you see that? All my erector pili are up on end. That's insane. Wow. Wow. That's really all I can say is wow. I know it sounds dumb and cliche, but wow. So, yes, you can order some of this from me. I have plenty. I grew so much in my garden this year. And just roll it around in that, right? Do one side, come back and do the other side if you wish. I wouldn't leave big chunks unless they're really soaked in oil. Otherwise, they could probably catch fire when the candle comes down. I mean, never leave your candles unattended. That's an obvious one, I'd suppose. But maybe not to everybody if you hadn't heard it. If you hadn't heard... Stay with your candles. Now really add intention to this. Before this, you could have even written some law of attraction on this candle in like a little pocket knife or something like that. So I've got it to the point where I feel like that's really good and anointed with both the psychic oil and the wormwood itself. I'm going to come back with this candle and just make a drip so that my candle will stick over here. And this candle will burn with us during the working. When I have to pause the working, I will be putting out the candle by licking my fingers and squishing it out, or using a snuffer. But I would never blow out this candle. When we read about all the candles and candle magic books, about blowing out candles and how that can affect the working in not such a positive way. So let's get this baby in there. tension. Feeling the vibration. I truly can't explain how much vibration that is really there with that at the moment. That wormwood is, with that psychic oil, is really vibrating. Alright, so I know y'all want to see me start making this crown. So here we go. We've got the candle going. We're going to get our altar light back. It's hard when it gets to the bottom of the candle. Sometimes you can't get it. Sometimes you have to leave the room and maybe use a lighter or a match. That's fine too, but if you're going to use a lighter or a match, you should leave the area where you're doing the working, because the match has sulfur, which degrades the working, and then the lighter has butane, which degrades the working. So, in my opinion and from what I've read. Claire is also with us. Why are we using a yellow candle? A yellow candle is excellent for divination and excellent for clairvoyance, clairaudience, clairsentience. So here is, I think, and we've got that all on the typewriter. The biggest thing is you need to be noting all of this stuff down. Every single process you're doing, note it down, because in the future, you're probably going to say, how could I make this working a little better? How could I make it a little different? Oh, it's too powerful. It needs to be a little bit less. And so you go back to your notes, and then you kind of like use your knowledge to say, just play with it and say, is this better? Is this better? And it's just so much fun to be able to do that. So we've got this wormwood that we dried, that we grew in the garden, and then we dried in the dehydrator into kind of a circle shape. Okay. And I didn't know that when I was making it. I just think it's awesome that I did that, because now it's in the shape of a crown, as you can see. It doesn't go straight up, it goes whoop around. So let's tip you down, and I've never done this before. I'm nervous about doing this, to be quite honest, and that's because it's because I've never done it before, and I don't know how it'll turn out, and we may have to adjust it and play with it, but that's the fun of being a creative, right? So I'm just going to try and lay these the best I can into kind of forming a circle shape with the curls of the the curls of the wormwood. And when you cut off of when I cut these little bundles, I don't keep too much of the stem, but these ones were to the top of the plant and they had long stems, so I just decided to keep those, and I'm so glad I did, because that's going to be our main structure for the crown. It's going to be what really bonds it and holds it together, and what we tie onto. I may have enough here for 2 crowns. That would be fun. But I'm in need of Etsy orders, so if anybody needs anything, please do go through the shop or ask for a custom order. Need the work, so if anybody needs me to do work for them, please do let me know. Okay. And you're seeing how I'm laying this out. It doesn't look fabulous so far. Kind of looks like I'm a little bird making a nest. That's good. We can clip off all these little shim-shams, or we can leave them. It's kind of like basket weaving. For the first time ever. We'll figure out. But look, it's making a circle. It might be too big for my head, though. Maybe we should make it a little tighter. So I'm going to say, I have to type what I'm doing. I forgot. I got to type over here. So I'm going to say form wormwood crown. Tie with leather. And what I've done is I took that big sheet of leather and I cut a jillion ties. a jillion little ties of all shapes and sizes, and I'm using the spirit of this animal. Again, I use this very same strip of leather, which is the same animal spirit in a lot of y'all's workings. That way, I can, if you say, hey man, my workings needs to be charged, or I don't know what to do, or something like that, I just go ahead and I take the permanent strip that I use, I keep this sheet, right? And this covers up my moon waters and stuff, and I sit with this and I work with the spirit and I ask it to charge your working far away. Does that make sense? So, as we move along, wormwood crown, tie with leather. Form crown, tie with leather. Form crown. Okay, that one wasn't meant to be there, I suppose. Put it to the side. Kind of like if something falls out, I feel like it's not meant to be in there, so I just kind of put it to the side. Figure it out later. So just having this amount of wormwood on your head, wormwood is a spirit calling herb. I did a huge, almost 3-hour video on wormwood on my YouTube live just the other day, because we were talking about the crown and things like that. So I'm going to use all of it except for the piece that didn't, that fell away. Getting all of this here. This looks like the perfect amount. It's kind of trippy. It's feeling very, very meant to be. I guess that's why I'm saying it's trippy. Okay, so this is what we formed. Hopefully you're able to see that well. And see there's sticks everywhere and you're looking at it and thinking, what are we going to do? Well, we're going to get some leather strips and start tying it. I wouldn't cut these too thin or else when you pull them, they'll break. So getting these under there, and I choose the suede side to be out rather than the leather side, but it really doesn't matter. Try not to get too picky, especially if I'm doing a video. You could anoint this suede in the astral oil. Let's do that. Anoint suede in astral oil. Because that leather will hold onto that astral oil for quite some time. I love the typewriter. It's just like so ASMR to me, and I don't even know how to get tingles from ASMR, but I enjoy listening to things. But yeah, the typewriter, man, I love it. So just coming up around and doing, whenever I make a knot to tie something off, I do 3 knots. I like the number 3, kind of ties in the Trinity. And putting your intention as you tie it down, right? Psychic awareness, spirit communication, psychic awareness, spirit communication, psychic awareness, spirit communication, psychic awareness, and spirit communication. I did not anoint it in astral oil. Psychic awareness and spirit communication, psychic awareness and spirit communication, psychic awareness and spirit communication. Moonlight work, psychic awareness and spirit communication. Moonlight work, psychic awareness and spirit communication. You could also tie something in here. I'm going to leave them just tied at a 3 and out and about because I might tie other herbs into this, like the dandelion and the feathers, okay? So I'm going to tie, that's 2 knots and this is 3. Psychic awareness and spirit communication. Psychic awareness and spirit communication, really pulling that in. And this will move as you work, so you're just going to have to scrunch it again, I suppose. Anointing these leather strips in that astral oil. It's going to smell so good, like clary sage. Oh boy. Binky boinky. So good. Psychic awareness and spirit communication. Psychic awareness and spirit communication. Psychic awareness, spirit communication. Psychic awareness, spirit communication. Psychic awareness, spirit communication. Okay, another strip. Another strip, another dip. And our candle is just burning really nice there with the Woormwood on it and the psychic awareness oil. Okay, psychic awareness and spirit communication. Psychic awareness and spirit communication. Psychic awareness and spirit communication. Duality, duality, duality. Psychic awareness, spirit communication. Duality, duality, duality. So it's really starting to form to where I feel comfortable kind of picking it up, which is really good. I feel like I'll try to do 7 to 9 pieces of leather. 9 is just, you know, a number that is really positive in magic, really resonates well. 7, 9, 3. But you can use numbers for lots of different things. I go intuitively. Sadly, at this point, because I've only been studying actual witchcraft, I've been studying herbalism all my life, but actual witchcraft only the last real 3 or 4 years. And so I can't remember every single thing I read in books, so when I don't have time, psychic awareness and spirit communication, psychic awareness and spirit communication. So when I don't have time to, what was I going to say, look up in the book, I'll just go ahead and use my intuition and ask my spirit guides to be with me when choosing what number I'll use. Strip and dip. Strip and dip. And this is really kind of stretchy and bouncy, but again, if you cut it too thin, the suede, it won't. So now we also have the spirit animal of this cow, right? And we're going to be using the spirit animal of these white peacocks from the feathers. Then also the mink bones that surround. So this has got 3 spirit animals just in the crown. And then that chicken necklace that I'll be making. I'm just so excited about this, really, this whole thing. I'm feeling really, really good about it. Like it was just truly sent to me and meant to be. So feeling really good about it. All right. Psychic awareness and spirit communication. Psychic awareness and spirit communication. Psychic awareness and spirit communication. Strip and dip. So at 24 minutes, I think we'll get all the strips on and then we'll be able to come back and finish the dandelions, the feathers, and the necklace probably can be done in one video, I hope to guess. I never really know how long things take me, you know. Doing it for the first time. Psychic awareness and spirit communication. Psychic awareness and spirit communication. Psychic awareness and spirit communication. And I also have no plan. I have no idea how I'm going to hook on the mink skull to the front. So that's really good. No idea, but we'll take it as it comes and I know I'll figure it out. I always do. Strip and dip with the astral oil on that leather spirit, asking that spirit to be with you and guide you while wearing this crown. And you know, cows are just the coolest animals. I've done videos on cow spirit and and the meaning of that and behind that, or if you see cows in dreams, etc. Psychic awareness and spirit communication. Psychic awareness and spirit communication. But when I grew up on a farm, and cows were literally my best friends, and oh god, I just absolutely adore them. Cows are the greatest. I wish I knew this cow, but yeah, I would come home from school and rush right down to the pasture and hang out with my friends. Psychic awareness and spirit communication. 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 You know, whether or not this crown looks perfect or beautiful or anything like that, none of that truly matters. What truly matters is like the herb itself, what it's doing on top of your head, on your crown chakra. You know what I'm saying? That's really going to be a beautiful connection right on your crown chakra to spirit. And wormwood being such a good spirit calling herb, enjoy, you know, be careful. That chicken foot is there for protection. You want to make sure that you do your cleansing before you do spirit work. Protection for spirit work, and cleansing afterwards. We all come up with our own traditions, but note them down. Spirit communication and psychic awareness. There we are. So the crown's feeling a little pointy. Let's figure out how to get this not pointy. I mean, I'll be quite honest, it's easier than I thought so far. It's easier than I thought it would be. But that's not saying too much. It's not easy. It smells so good in here with all this astral oil. It's making me kind of loopy. Clary sage is... Well, remember we talked about sage, and it's in the Artemida... hold on. Artemidas family, I believe, that we were talking about, same family. And so, since it's in the same family, it's a kind of a great connection. I think we should kind of try it on to see how it's going to sit on my head. I put my hair up in a bun, hoping I could just kind of set it over that, and the bun would hold it on. So obviously it's not done, but... Oh yeah, that sits perfect on my head. I wanted it to sit on the edge there. Oh yes. Oh yes. Yeah, I definitely need to get it into more of a circle, but this is what I wanted. I'm going to trim all these crazy bits off the side, obviously, and you'll see me do all of that. But here we go. Like, we've got the actual base of the crown made. I will probably... I'll do it all with you guys. We'll just stop the video right at 30 minutes, and then we'll just keep going. As the candle keeps going, we'll keep going. And that means that we'll get 2 videos out today. Or 3. I'm going to try and finish this crown today, so however many videos that takes. And hopefully I'll get to a YouTube live, but we'll see. You guys come first. Really, really blessed to have you guys here, donating to the channel, and I'm so appreciative. And you definitely come first. And I want you to know that. Psychic awareness and spirit communication. Psychic awareness and spirit communication. Figuring out how to get the shape better, but I think it's from some of these long stems that just need to be bent. See if you kind of go through and bend it a bit. Seems to shape fine after you bend those quirky little sticks. And no, it won't have all this leather hanging off, but I'm going to use those to tie on other things, because I want the wormwood to show at least, so... Oh, we need... Sorry, we need you. The bear over here. Alright. Oh, not really fill up the bear spot. Psychic awareness and spirit communication. We're right at 30 minutes, so we will come back and have a part 3 to what's going on. Psychic awareness and spirit communication. So mote it be. And I will see you guys right back. All right. Have a great couple minutes until we see you next time. Thank you again for your Patreon. I dearly appreciate it.